Welcome back to another Glasshouse Films Midnight Review. I'm your bearded host, Carson. This is Sarah, my co-host and partner. Yeah, it's not midnight. I don't care. We're gonna check out a movie at 7:30 at night instead of having to see it at midnight because I work in the mornings and you go to class.
So it just works better for everyone.
So why don't you tell the fine viewers what we're watching this week?
We're gonna go see Free Fire, and I don't know about you, but I am stoked. Like I said last week, so excited. More than just one reason.
Oh, I mean, because it has your girlfriend Brie Larson in it.
For those who don't know, I'm pretty much in love with Brie Larson. Fantastic actress, fantastic person. So, and she's in this movie. But I'm also excited because I recently watched High Rise, directed by Ben Wheatley, who's directing this film. And it's also written by the same person as High Rise. And I thought the writing's really good in that movie. The directing's really good. So I have, I'm going in hoping that it's good.
You know, so I'm also really looking forward to it. And what I find really fascinating about Ben Wheatley's directing career is that he doesn't, this one is much more a bottle film than his other movies, but his other movies, not so much bottle films, but they're all single location movies.
Yeah, and this movie it's just in this one area pretty much.
Yeah, well, there's a distinction that's made there. In a bottle film, you're trapped in it.
Yeah.
His other movies, just a single location, like High Rise, for instance. Everyone wants to be there.
Yeah.
Field in, I think that's what it's called, a field in England. They're kind of trapped there as well. And then Kill List, not so much, but more trapped in the situation. But the reason why I bring that up is because Ben Wheatley does an incredible job creating the locations, crafting a dense and very not I don't want to say interesting because that's no fun. I need different adjectives. But he creates incredible, so dense and so multidimensional and multifaceted locations that they are a character unto themselves. Like in High Rise. The High Rise is basically a character.
Yeah, the building is its own character.
And I kind of get the feeling that this warehouse that they're at is going to be a very a character that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what they do with it, because for those who don't know, and Ben Wheatley's talked about this before the movie came out, he designed the room that they're in Minecraft. That was how he storyboarded it.
Yeah.
And I actually saw the pictures last night on Twitter, and I just thought it was so cool. That's such an interesting way to storyboard something. So I'm excited to see, after seeing those pictures, to see how it reflects on screen.
Yeah. The other aspect of this film that I'm very excited for is that Ben Wheatley does a lot more dour films, and this one looks much more funny. Yeah.
I feel, and just watching the trailer that I've seen, I think the dialogue feels very witty in a way, and it feels like it works really well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm just excited to see the movie, pretty much.
So, real quick before we go in, the movie, for those of you who don't know, is about a arms deal between, I feel like they're IRA people. IRA and an arms dealer. The wrong weapons are at the sale. People get angry. People start shooting.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the setup, and I'm like, you know what? You can do a lot with that setup, especially with all the actors that are in this, too.
Yeah, they've got a really good cast.
Armie Hammer, Brie Larson, Charlotte Copley. I know there's a ton of other people.
What's his name? Cillian Murphy?
Cillian Murphy.
However you say his name.
Mr. Murphy. So I'm like, wait, how do you have time to be in this movie when you're also in Dunkirk that comes out in a couple months? Like, dude's pulling double duty. But I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go watch the movie.
What do you say we check out the merch?
It's not what he ordered.
I forgot whose side am I? Now we're cooking!
I still think Noah Segan would have been a more inspired choice.
Who?
Noah Segan for the Joker. Anyway, so yeah, we just We just got back from the movie. It's darker out. So.
Yes. Shocker.
So yeah, what'd you think of it?
I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was engaged the whole time. The writing was really good, really funny. There were, I don't know, I feel like in our theater, everyone was laughing a lot. And like, just because it was so
Everyone
funny.
meeting all 12 people?
Yes, all like max 12 people. I don't know, it was a really fun, good movie. Like it went, I didn't want to say it went in with like high expectations, but like I went in hoping it was going to be good, and it was good. I think it was better than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Yeah, I went in with pretty high expectations too, and it exceeded all of mine.
It's probably not my favorite movie of the year, but probably my second favorite that I've seen so far this year. Because, let's be honest, nothing's going to beat out Get Out.
I'd probably rank it as my third favorite.
Okay.
Like, Kong, Get Out, and this one.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
I mean, it took the third spot, so I loved it.
You obviously liked it.
Yeah, I had a blast. Like, it's weird because, all right, so one of the things that I think we absolutely need to say before we forget it is the sound mixing
Was good.
was incredible.
Yeah, it was really
so
good.
well done. And it was, I feel like in certain aspects, I don't know if you know this, but, or if you'll catch on to this, but I felt like the way the dialogue was delivered and then the sound mixing of it was had kind of echoes of Robert Altman and what he would do in his movies, but not to the same extent.
Okay.
Definitely not to the same extent, because the way he does it just annoys me, but this was done really well with a lot of overlapping dialogue in parts, not the whole movie. But I love the sound design. Just every gunshot felt good, and you know, the different sounds from the different areas, like the factory they're in. So what we explained is the plot of the film. It takes place in an abandoned factory, and I love just the way that all the shots sounded different, how they rang out. Like
they used the space that they were in really well.
Yes.
Like they knew, like, when certain things would fall, they'd know, like, to make the right kind of noise. And, like, there were little noises that you would laugh at when they were made. But yeah, no, the sound was really good.
Definitely feels like it definitely feels like Ben Wheatley has like walked around in that area so much, and like it's been sitting in his head so long that he is intimately familiar with this place.
It's like what we were saying before we saw the movie about how, with like say High Rise, how the building was its own character. I felt like that's how it was here.
Oh yeah, I will say I loved the this isn't a spoiler, but it's a great little bit where Francis was crawling around and got the needle stuck in him. And I'm just like, oh, that's gross.
You could just hear everyone in the theater just be like, oh, like,
oh, it was hysterical.
Glad I'm not you, buddy. I also thought the cast was really good. Like, it was a
oh my God.
ensemble cast, and how they wrote every character and how everyone interacted. Like, I cared about every single character in some sort of way. Either because I was
whether or not you liked them.
Whether or not I liked them. It was like, I want to know what happens to your character. And they give a lot of good motivation behind every single person.
Yeah.
Like, every single person is there, you can tell.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for how many people were in the cast.
Oh, yeah. Everybody had, like, their own little moments that worked well. I loved the end car chase.
Yeah, it's really good. It's fun.
like when you saw how that was gonna end, I'm just like, yes, this is perfect.
It's definitely pretty graphic. Like not parts of it. The end is.
What I will say is this movie is more. It's more realistic with its gunplay. Like, okay, on one end of the spectrum you have, let's say, John Wick, where very stylized, you know, boom, boom, dead, moving on. By the way, Atomic Blonde looks awesome. I can't wait to see it. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have this feels like a Coen Brothers film back in the 90s.
Yeah, a
like
little
a
bit.
Coen Brothers film mixed with like elements of like early Quentin Tarantino.
A little bit, yeah.
and I mean that all in the best way possible. But anyway, I felt like what was I going on about before I
you're talking about the guns.
Yeah, the gunplay, it's like, it's more realistic in the way people would take hits. And it's more realistic in the way someone would get hurt. Like, if
and they do a good job talking about that too.
Oh yeah, and like when someone gets shot, like for instance, they get shot in the shoulder, it's like, ow, that really hurts. But you're not down for the fight.
Yeah, they're like, we didn't hit an artery, like you're fine.
Yeah. It was a very realistic depiction of how I feel a gunfight would happen.
Yeah,
and I really like that. So there's a lot of action happening, but it's not stylized action. It's a lot of people like, I don't want to get hit, shoot, and then go back.
Yeah.
Speaking of realistic action, I love when they're pulling the boxes out and the one guy screams.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's wrong? Oh, I got a splinter.
It's just...
Oh, Noah Taylor?
Yeah.
He's
a really good character actor.
When I finally saw his face, I'm like, oh, it's Noah Taylor, yay!
See, I recognize him from, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he was on Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
He was on either last season or the season before. Nothing, like, super big.
I can't remember, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was in it.
Nothing super big.
But, well, I mean, speaking of the characters, all super well written. Love the dialogue they were all given. I feel
like every character gets their moment to shine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like an ensemble cast where you're like, oh, well, what about this character? We never saw them. Like, everyone gets their moment, which is really good. The
only problem I had with that is that one character is kind of not shown for a while, and like, it was such not like a super long time in the film, but you didn't see them for enough time that I was like, I think I know how they're going to come back into it.
Yeah, and I mean, that happens.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's just that's just how my brain works with film.
What did you think? Like, did it end the way you wanted it to? Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I loved the ending. I thought it was perfect.
Definitely suits all the characters.
Yeah, it works really well. At the end of the day, these are all scumbag characters. But it's just fun to watch them in the sandbox. And I gotta say, so out of all the characters, I loved Armie Hammer's character.
He was really fun. I liked his character. He has some really fun pieces of dialogue.
Yeah, he's the guy who's just like, he's very chill. He's like, let's just make this happen. Let's move on, everyone. Yay!
And like, he's kind of on both sides in a way, because he's there as he's
more for mediator. Himself, but he is there as the middleman.
Yeah.
And then Charlton Copley is great. He's so great.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because originally it was going to be Luke Evans in that role, and he picked up Beauty and the Beast instead. I
feel like if it had been Luke Evans, they would have wrote it different.
Yeah, it would have had to have been rewritten a little bit differently.
Because so when they introduce his character, they mention that he was... I love this line where he was misdiagnosed as a genius when he was a kid.
And he's never gotten over it.
And I feel like if Luke Evans had been in it, that character would have actually been a little bit smarter. Yeah. And he wouldn't have been as flamboyant. That's not to say like Nathan Lane flamboyant. That's to say just very... very talkative, very narcissistic.
Yeah,
would actually be a better way to put it.
He is a very narcissistic.
Person. And then...
But the guy who it is, he doesn't do a bad job. Like, he's still really good.
Oh, Charlton Copley?
Yeah.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he's really good. I was just saying, I think it's interesting how if it had been Luke Evans, the movie would have been completely different, in my opinion.
I don't feel like the movie would have been different, but I feel like that character
I think, how he would interact with some of the other characters, it just would have been a little different. Not bad. But either way, I think it's a good casting choice. I think
and your girlfriend Brie Larson
super good.
Did a great job.
I really like that, especially because it's she's this only woman with all these guys. It has to do with guns in the 70s. Like, it's not a typical like thing for women to do then. And so I think it was really interesting how they used her character. And she had some good pieces of dialogue, especially at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I liked the interplay between all of the characters. And it also didn't feel like they were stretching to make sure these characters interacted in any way. It worked. And it was a tight 90 minutes.
Yeah, I was
no fat on this.
Yeah, I felt involved the entire time. It moved really fast too.
The other thing before we wrap up, well, two things. First, cinematography, fantastic.
So good. There's some amazing shots in it. Really
there's
good.
one in particular where a guy raises a gun and the camera's on the end of the gun, so it raises up and you see his eye. It's really just super cool.
So good.
But I think that I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear that one guy's John Denver story.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
Oh well. But I feel like I can't remember what the other thing was that I was going to say, but it was a damn good film.
It's really good. So would you watch it again?
I can't wait to own it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a movie that I'll own and just like study and really watch a lot. And it's also something that I can see that I'll just like put on in the background while I'm doing something else.
It's a movie I wouldn't mind watching in theaters again.
Yeah.
Which
is really good.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the money. And also definitely watching it on the big screen too.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's worth your money. It is definitely worth the money.
So Free Fire, go see it.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
So next week, we're watching you.
We're gonna see The Circle next week.
I am not looking forward to it.
But John Boyega. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to John Boyega, and I'm looking forward to evil Tom Hanks.
So at least two good things.
I can't ever remember Tom Hanks being evil. Yeah.
Anyway,
evil Tom Hanks. Yep. Anyway, like and subscribe to this video if you liked it. Subscribe to it if you didn't. And stay tuned for next week when we review The Circle. YouTube.com/GlassFilmsHouse, Facebook.com/GlassHouseFilms, and Twitter @GlassHouseFilms. Until next time, everyone.